Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that jet-age aerial ace, Rocket J. Squirrel. And his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Last time, you remember, Phyllis Leader himself had decided to try to get the secret formula for a silent explosive called Hushaboom from our friend.
Observe, Dimitri. You know what this is?
Is plan of New Pennsylvania skyscraper?
Idiot. This is a silhouette of a moose. And here inside the moose is a banana. And you know what is inside the banana?
Another moose?
No, you idiot. Inside banana is secret formula.
Of course.
And we've got to steal it.
Why?
Because they won't give it to us.
Very logical. How are we going to steal it?
I shall use deception, fraud, double-crossing, and trickery.
Of course.
It's the Pennsylvanian way.
Meanwhile, our heroes were just leaving the ruins of Lake Kitchy Itchy Lodge.
Gee, the whole place just blew up in the air.
Bullwinkle, I think that explosion was meant for you.
Oh, they shouldn't have done it.
No.
A simple fanfare would have been plenty.
But...
maybe with a few white doves let loose.
No, I mean somebody's trying to get rid of you.
Well, they've done a good job.
What do you mean?
I'm getting out of here.
And in just a little while, our heroes were aboard a river steamer and heading for home, all unaware that inside Bullwinkle is a banana containing the formula for a silent explosive. However, as the boat rocks slowly back and forth...
Bullwinkle, what's happening? You're turning kind of green.
It must be spring. NH3CO2U335 a pinch of salt.
What?
I got the hiccups. I guess it must be the banana I ate about 4 episodes back. NH3CO2U335 a pinch of salt.
Bullwinkle, you can remember everything you ever ate.
True.
So you must have eaten a secret formula.
If it's such a secret, how come I keep blabbing it all over?
That's what I mean. You gotta get rid of those hiccups till we can get to somebody in authority.
Is that authority Wisconsin?
Oh, if our friends had only known they were at that moment being spied on by that arch-villain, that crumb of crumbs, that fiend of fiends...
Say the name.
Boris Badenov.
Ta-da!
Boris, darling, could you hear formula when Moose hiccuped?
No, he's too far away. Come, we sneak a little closer.
And just at that moment...
And a pinch of salt. Thanks, Rock.
You're gonna give away the formula for sure unless we find a way to stop your hiccups.
Yeah.
You know, what we need is a good hiccups doctor.
Boris, you heard?
I heard.
Darling, that's your cue. You're supposed to show up disguised as Hiccup Doctor.
Natasha, I can't do it.
Boris, why not?
This time they're sure to recognize me.
They never have.
79 disguises I used on those two. Not one did they ever see through.
So?
The law of averages is turning against me.
It wouldn't dare. Boris, you're forgetting Article 6 of the Villain's Handbook.
Article 6?
Yes, look here.
There is nobody so stupid as the hero of a TV cartoon show. Well, maybe you're right. Come on.
As I was saying, what we need is a good hiccup doctor.
Allow me to introducing myself.
Who are you?
I'm the ship's medical officer.
Ship's dock?
Of course they do.
That voice! Where have I heard that voice?
See, darling?
I see it, but I don't believe it. No, sir, let's hear that nasty hiccup of yours.
And Boris held up a stethoscope which was secretly hooked up to a tape recorder. Will the villains get the formula? Be with us next time for Testing 1, 2, 3 or Tape a Number.
6 baritone solos in the key of E.
But
Ooh.
now for another of our special features.
Should have tried E flat.
Yo, there you are, Junior. Don't you know dinner's on the table?
Oh, please, don't mention dinner, Dad.
Oh, off your feet, eh?
Yeah, thanks to one of your morals.
Oh, which one is that?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
That's not one of mine. Besides, it looks like you've had more than one apple.
Oh, but golly, you wouldn't think 14 of them would give you a tummy ache.
You would if they weren't ripe.
But they are ripe. Look how red they are.
Well, the skin may be ripe, but inside, that's something else. Like I always say, son, you can't judge a book by its cover.
These are apples, Dad, not...
I'm reminded of a fable I wrote some years ago, The Fox and the Three Weasels. Weasels have a very unsavory reputation, especially three weasels named Tom, Dick, and Larry. They began life behind bars, the bars of a playpen.
We have got to break out of here.
Yeah, I'm getting stir-crazy, see?
I lost my pacifier.
That night, when all was still, a rattle with a serrated edge was brought out. And the result was that three errant characters went out into society to launch an unparalleled crime wave. They began by holding up trains that ran under Christmas trees. Next, they robbed piggy banks. They even sank so low as to take candy from babies.
What a haul.
Yeah, 11 cents, see?
And 14 all day suckers.
But these dastardly deeds brought the minions of the law hot on the heels of the Weasel Gang.
Of all the stupid things.
Yeah, we'll be back in our playpen before we know it.
And then fate intervened, for just ahead a bridge spanned a river.
Across the river is the state line. They couldn't follow us there.
But look at the bridge. It's like only half completed.
So what? Halfway across the state line is better than nothing.
Offhanded, you'd surmise that this was the finish of the Weasel Gang, but such wasn't the case. For a ferry boat happened to be on the river, and the getaway car simply fell to the parking area. But this time, fate wasn't so kind, for that ferry boat was on a sightseeing cruise, and her first stop was Stony Island, home of the state prison. Naturally, the newspapers played it up big, and one of the periodicals came to the attention of Tycoon J. Fox, the canned soup millionaire.
I could use 3 lads like those.
Indeed, he could, for his canned soup empire was tottering.
Sorry, TJ, but there's no market for chocolate soup.
No, Chief. It isn't the alphabet soup the customers object to. It's what the letters spell out when they pour it.
Maybe it's your advertising, boss. I mean, a motto that says, it's what we drank on the Titanic.
My only salvation lies in winning the annual new soup contest. I've got to come up with a new soup.
And then one day, an old janitor who had once washed windows in Tibet swept his way into the Fox's office.
What's this, Bloomington? Your resignation?
No, Mr. Fox, that's an ancient recipe. It shows you how to make the soup of the 7 moons.
Fox knew a winner when he saw one. There was just one hitch.
In order to make this soup, you must get the sprout of a has-been and the pollen from a wallflower. The only way to get them is to steal them.
That's where the Weasel Gang came in. The next morning, the Fox paid a visit to their cell.
Then you'll get those ingredients for me?
Oh, sure, but how could we do it from in here?
Now, wise guy, nobody's ever busted out of Stony Island. Oh, no? The guards are eating soup for dinner. My soup.
At 6 that evening, the lights came on and the guards went out from eating Fox's soup. The Weasels and their benefactor walked to freedom.
All right, boys, get going. I have to have that soup by tomorrow morning.
The gang did their work well. They returned with their sack full and dumped the contents into a large vat.
Now, leave me alone. I've got work to do.
The new soup contest was practically over by the time the Fox arrived with his vat, and the judges were about to announce the winner.
Don't do it. Don't say a word until you've tasted this.
And That's where Tycoon J. Fox made his mistake. The judge took one small sip and immediately turned blue.
My stars! Look what's in that vat.
There, swimming among the has-beens, were old shoes, alarm clocks, license plates, and alligator wallets. The fox turned to the three weasels.
I told you to steal has-beens and wallflowers.
And the fox and the weasels went to prison. So you see, my boy, you can't judge a book by its cover.
The fable's right, but the moral's wrong, Pop.
What should it be?
Too many crooks. Spoil the broth.
Hi, poetry people. Today's poem is the saga of a singing waiter, Tommy Tucker. That's me. Little Tommy Tucker sings for his supper. What shall he have? Brown bread and butter. How shall he...
Waiter?
Sir?
How's the Irish stew tonight?
Oh, the taters are old and the meat is a fright. Everything is left over from Saturday night. We sweep it all up, put it into a pot, and tell you it's real Irish stew that we got.
What about the chicken liver?
Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away, 2, 3, 4. There, they embalm our chicken liver, and that's what you get today.
Maybe I'll just have salad with Russian dressing.
Russian dressing! Tomatoes, beets, and ketchup. We used to make it red. Just put it on your salad, and you'll wish that you were dead. Hey!
Psst. Tommy Tucker, I got something for you.
What is it, boss? My brown bread and butter?
No, this.
How about that? 5 minutes on the job, and already I got a raise. Ready, Rock?
You sure you know how to work that thing?
No. Anyways, here's what it was supposed to look like.
Hello again. And if you haven't already guessed, it's Peabody and Sherman here. Say hello, Sherman.
Hello.
Very good. Once again, we are about to take off on another exciting journey into yesteryear. This time, our adventure concerns a very interesting figure.
Lady Godiva?
Sherman, control yourself. The interesting figure I'm referring to is the infamous but colorful pirate, Captain Kidd.
Can I set the Wayback Machine, Mr. Peabody?
Why not, as they say on the telly. The year is 1697, the place the high seas just off the coast of Madagascar. Although the Wayback had been making strange sounds of late, it still functioned perfectly. In a fraction of an instant, we found ourselves standing on the deck of a British merchant ship.
There's not a soul on deck.
A quick glance told me that Sherman's observation was correct, but looking up, I found the answer. The entire crew was perched high atop the mainmast, and before our startled eyes, all but one dove into space, plunged into the sea, and rapidly swam off in the direction of the mainland. The one who remained then took his dive into space, but his aim was poor.
Gee, too bad you missed the water.
No, it isn't. I planned it that way. You see, I can't swim.
Well, tell me, why were you and the others deserting the ship?
I'm the captain. They were the crew, and we're all scared out of our wits.
Scared of what, Captain?
That blasted showboat heading our way.
The captain had good reason to be frightened, for suddenly a cardboard false front dropped, revealing a row of ugly cannons which proceeded to fire on us.
We're being attacked.
Yes, and by that rogue, Captain Kidd. You must have something of value aboard, Captain. And there, standing behind the wheel, was a slot machine.
It's due to hit a jackpot any second. If Kidd gets his hands on it, England will lose a fortune. We must make a run for it.
And that's when a cannonball struck us at the waterline, and we began to founder. Rushing wildly about the listing deck, the captain shouted,
"Don't panic. Keep a cool head."
And we did, for at that moment we went under, only to be scooped up out of the water by a large net. Seconds later, we stood facing Captain Kidd, Sherman, myself, the British captain.
Har! Before I hits the jackpot, I'm gonna give you 3 swabs a chance to walk to freedom.
Oh, I say that's awfully decent of you.
Indecent would be closer to the truth, for the walk we were to take was along a plank that stretched out over the water, which was teeming with man-eating sharks, and a few that were dog-eaters, too. Fortunately, the pirate vessel had drifted unnoticed to the shore of an island.
Walk!
And we did. Off the plank, onto the beach, and into the dense foliage. We expected Kidd to pursue, but all he said was,
Who cares if the sharks didn't get them? They'll never get off this here deserted island. Heave-ho, me hearties!
And with that, they sailed off into the sunset while the captain frantically ran up and down the beach shouting,
Don't panic. Keep a cool head.
Does this mean we're moroned?
That's marooned, and we're not.
You mean this isn't a deserted island?
It's an island, all right. Manhattan Island. 5 minutes later, we were inside a cab racing for LaGuardia Airport.
Do you think we can get to Kid before he hits the jackpot?
If we catch the 5 o'clock jet, there'll be no problem at all.
How do you know where to find him?
Well, he has to be at one of two places, Pittsburgh or Tortuga in the Caribbean. We settled for Tortuga because we missed the jet for Pittsburgh. As for Captain Kidd, he hadn't overlooked a thing. We were not only flying in a pirate airplane, but we had a pirate pilot and a pirate stewardess. We landed in Tortuga and were immediately brought before Captain Kidd.
Arr! I don't know as to how you blokes got off the island, but as soon as I hit this jackpot, I'll take care of you for keeps.
Now, you're a sporting man, Captain Kidd. Would you care to make a wager?
On what?
On whether you hit the jackpot on the first pull. If you do, you get the money, and we are at your mercy.
And if I don't?
We get the slot machine and our freedom.
Mr. Peabody!
Quiet, Sherman. Not only that, I'll provide the nickel. That was the straw that broke the captain's back. He took the coin, eagerly placed it in the slot, smiled confidently, and pulled the lever. It came to a stop on a lemon, an orange, and a grapefruit. You lose, Captain.
Mr. Peabody, how did you know it would stop on a lemon, an orange, and a grapefruit?
Elementary, Sherman. You can see right here on the front it says, Made in California.
Mr. Peabody, you have England's dying gratitude, or something like that.
From the edge of the pier, we watched the captain and the slot machine, which still hadn't paid off, sail happily back to England.
What about Captain Kidd?
He gave his promise to give up buccaneering and acquire an education.
You mean he went to school?
Yes, to Ohio University, where he proudly wore the school sweater with his name on it, which incidentally gave birth to a famous saying.
Which saying was that?
Oh, you kid.
Last time, you remember, Bullwinkle got a strange kind of hiccup.
NH3CO2U235 and a pinch of salt.
See?
Must be the banana I ate a few episodes ago.
True, for that banana had contained the secret formula for the silent explosive Hush-a-Boom. And if that wasn't bad enough...
You call?
Yes. Boris had just appeared as a hiccup doctor with his stethoscope hooked up to a tape recorder.
Come, hick right in there.
From here, Doctor?
Now, wait a minute. That stethoscope is hooked up to a tape recorder.
Who says?
The narrator says.
And he never lies, right?
Right.
Well, of course there's a tape recorder. I got to consult your case with a lady doctor.
A lady doctor? Yes, darling. Who is she?
This is Dr. Biotic.
Not antibiotic.
You guess.
Oh, I keep up with the Kildares, you know, and NH3CO2U235 and a pinch of salt.
Oh, Bullwinkle, you did it.
Come on, Doctor. We got another appointment.
What about my hiccups?
You need a good scare is all.
So boo, darling.
We got to answer emergency call.
Bullwinkle, something's mighty funny about those two.
That's odd. I don't hear anybody laughing.
No, but in a small rowboat pulling away from the river steamer, there were a couple of muffled chuckles.
Oh, boy, wait till Fearless Leader hears this tape, Natasha. It'll make even his ugly puss light up.
Oh, he is ugly, isn't he, Boris?
Listen, he's got as bad a case of uglies as you can get. Why, he got aggravated uglies.
He's got ugly he hasn't even used yet.
And stupid. Oh, boy.
Bad enough, is that you?
Boris is fearless leader.
On my two-way wrist TV. Fearless Leader, we were just talking about you.
Well, don't. I'm top secret.
Where are you, Chiefy?
Right over your head. Look up, stupid.
You heard him, Natasha. Look up.
And sure enough, the sinister black superjet was zooming right overhead.
Meet me at the crossroads in half an hour, bad enough.
You bet, dear old superior, sir. Signing off.
Half an hour? We'll have to row pretty fast, Boris.
You certainly will. And the 1 and a 2 and a big fat shoe and a 3 and a 4.
And as the helpless Natasha bent to the oars back on board the riverboat, our friends were still baffled and confused.
No, that's...
Rocky and Bullwinkle, I know.
Think he'd remember after all this time.
But just then...
You're Rocky and Bullwinkle?
No, baffled and confused.
Yeah, that's us.
Come along with us. You're under arrest.
Waffer!
Protective custody.
Official Secrets Act.
They do?
Walk this way.
I can't.
Why not?
I'm knock-kneed.
Are you trying to be funny?
Aren't you?
No.
You sure you're on the right program?
Understand you can remember everything you ever ate.
Oh, that again. Sure I can.
Remember eating a banana a little while back?
Do I? It had something written on the inside. It said...
Grab him, Ben.
And before Bullwinkle could move a muscle, he was bound and gagged.
Hey, what's a big idea?
Army, intelligence. That mean anything to you?
Yeah, sounds like a contradiction in terms.
Grab him, Joe.
And in a trice, Rocky was also bound and gagged. Well, it looks like a pretty quiet program from here on in. And just because Bullwinkle was going to give the formula for Hush-a-Boom, which is...
Grab him, Ben.
And in a trice...
And meanwhile, Boris Badenoff is just about to play the tape recorder of the formula for his fearless leader.
Tune in next time for the villain's victory dance, or the jig is up.
Ooh, I love these happy endings.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say...
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible. My fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle? Alley!
Oop!